I'm really happy SportsLine does in-studio interviews and we don't do the bit where we have to try other LaSalle sports because we have water polo on this week and I don't know how to swim. Anyways, we have sports to talk about and Megan is back.
I know you all just love seeing me here, so I had to come back this week. You're watching LaSalle's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. You guessed it, we have recaps and upcoming games for all Spring Explorer sports coming your way.
And later, water polo's Hannah Woren and Francesca are in studio to talk about their current season.
But first, let's take a look at our SportsLine top 3.
Number 1, Kayla Spurl and Mia Jacobs were awarded A10 honors this week. Spurl was named to the A10 All-Atlantic Conference third team, while Mia Jacobs was awarded a spot on the All-Rookie team.
Number 2, Emma Gurisic was named to this week's Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference's Defensive Player of the Week this week. This is her second MAC honor of the season for the senior.
Number 3, Liz Mancini was named NovaCare Student Athlete of the Week this week for her performance in the A10 Indoor Track and Field Championships. She won 2 gold medals and was named the A10's Female Most Outstanding Track Performer.
So great performances from all females this week, but for women's basketball, Kayla Spurl and Mia Jacobs on both ends of the spectrum. Kayla Spurl is a graduate student. She is unfortunately graduating this year, but has had such a great career at LaSalle. And you have Mia Jacobs, who is the youngest of the Jacobs sisters, getting on that all-rookie team. She's been incredible this season and really excited for her future on this team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even like all women athletes, like you said, like even the Mancini sisters, we hear their name all the time, but Liz Mancini winning 2 gold in the A10 Indoor Championship is just fantastic.
Yes, absolutely. And water polo has had such a successful season this year, so Emma Gurisic getting her second honor. They've only been playing for about 3 or 4 weeks, so that's pretty incredible for her on the defensive side. And like we said, we'll hear from water polo later today, so very exciting.
Yeah.
And that is it for top 3. Now let's see how our teams did in this week's recaps. On Saturday, men's basketball traveled to Washington, D.C. to take on George Washington. The Explorers started off cold, trailing 8-0 before Hassan and Foussini Drame hit back-to-back threes to make it a 2-point game. Khalil Brantley then took over the game, scoring 6 points as part of a 10-6 LaSalle run to tie the game at 16. The Explorers eventually got their first lead of the game with 6:40 remaining in the first half after Andres Marrero knocked down a 3-pointer of his own. The two teams went back and forth to end the half. Thanks to 2 Marrero free throws, LaSalle went up into halftime 42-40. In the second half, the Colonels would again get off to a hot start, going on an 8-2 run. While LaSalle would eventually cut the deficit to 1, George Washington would proceed to go on a 19-3 run to take a 71-54 lead. While the Explorers would go on a scoring run of their own, thanks to Foussini Drame and Josh Nickelberry, it would not be enough to put them back in the game, and LaSalle would go on to lose 92-85. The Explorers then traveled to Dayton to break a 3-game losing streak. LaSalle did not help their case early in the game, quickly trailing 21-6 after the first 10 minutes of play. However, the Explorers would find their footing in the last 10 minutes of the half, going on a 21-12 run to cut Dayton's lead to 6 at the break. Nickelberry, Brantley, and Rokas Jokas made all important baskets during this stretch. At the beginning of the second half, the Explorers kept the game close, and 5 straight Jokas points cut Dayton's lead to just 45-39 with 13 minutes remaining in the game. Unfortunately, Dayton would go on another huge run and cruise to a 77-53 victory. The Explorers have now lost 4 straight games and currently have a record of 7-10 in A10 play and 13-17 overall.
On Saturday, LaSalle women's basketball hosted their final regular season game against VCU. It was also the team's senior day. The Explorers started the special day off slowly, trailing to the Rams 4-0 after 5 minutes of play. Kayla Spurl then put LaSalle on the board, scoring 5 points to cut VCU's lead to 3. The two teams would combine to just 3 more points in the quarter, which would end with the Rams up 9-7. After, Spurl would tie the game up to start the second. Mia Jacobs would score 7 points and give the Explorers their first lead of the day. Amy Jacobs would then hit a clutch three-pointer to give LaSalle a 19-15 lead. They would hold the lead for the rest of the quarter and go into halftime with a 26-20 advantage. To start the third quarter, the Explorers would go on a 5-0 run to give themselves an 11-point lead, their biggest of the game. The Rams were not done, however, and would go on a run to their own to make it a 3-point LaSalle lead. After eventually pulling ahead by 2 points, Molly Massantonio would hit a three-pointer to put LaSalle back up by 1. The Explorers would add 2 more points and would head into the final frame up 40-37. In the fourth, VCU would come within 1 point of the lead on 2 different occasions, but clutch shots by Claire Jacobs kept LaSalle in front. The Explorers were able to hold VCU to just 3 points in the final 1:30 of the game and went on to win 55-51. It was then on to the Chase Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware, where the Explorers would take on George Mason to open the A-10 Conference Championship. After a nearly scoreless first 5 minutes, LaSalle got some momentum thanks to jumpers by Jay Haynes and Amy Jacobs. George Mason took over the scoring from there, leaving them up 18-13. At the end of the first quarter, a layup and three-pointer by Jacobs kept the game close, but George Mason continued to put points on the board. The Explorers were down 34-29 heading into the half. The Explorers struggled to score out the half, leaving work to do towards the end of the third. A Molly Massantonio layup and Hayes three-pointer kept the game in check going into the final quarter, down 44-38. Gabby Crawford hit a jumper and the Explorers turned on their defense and were able to go on a 6-0 run. Unfortunately, George Mason would hit 11 free throws through the remainder of the game and LaSalle couldn't edge them out, taking a 64-58 loss and ending their season.
Track and field took off for the A-10 Indoor Track and Field Championships in Kingston, Rhode Island this week. On the first day of competition, Elle Mancini claimed her second straight indoor title in the 5K, clocking in at 16 minutes and 28.62 seconds. Liam Rivard and Christine Mancini qualified for the finals in their respective events. The final day of competition gave Elle Mancini her second silver medal of the championships, as she clocked in a 3K time of 9 minutes and 34.34 seconds. She was awarded the Most Outstanding Track Performer award for her performance. Christine Mancini earned her second consecutive gold in the 1K with a time of 2 minutes and 48.98 seconds. To close out the Mancini success, Liz Mancini earned silver in the 3K. The women's 4x800 meter relay team finished with a silver medal. On the men's side, Liam Rivard earned his second career A-10 title in the 800 meter with a time of 1 minute and 54.44 seconds.
Lacrosse took on Lehigh on Wednesday. Lehigh got off to a hot start, scoring 2 goals off the bat. A free position shot by Sarah Grassi, however, put LaSalle on the board, making it a 2-1 lead. It wasn't enough, though, and the Explorers ended the first period 3-1. Maddie Henderson scored her 5th goal of the season to open the second. This was followed by another goal from Lehigh to make the score 4-2. The Explorers managed to tie the game, however, with goals from Claudia Steinmetz and Mackenzie Click. The Mountain Hawks came to play, however, and took a lead of 8-4 with 3 minutes left in the half. The Explorers combated with 1 goal by Alana Lathan, making the score 8-5 heading into halftime. The Explorers exploded in the second half, scoring 3 goals made by Molly Maloney, Alana Lathan, and Claudia Steinmetz. The Mountain Hawks combated to take a 2-goal lead, with the score being 10-8 headed into the fourth period. Both Lehigh and the Explorers scored 1 more goal in the fourth, but unfortunately the Explorers came up short, with the final score being 11-9.
Water polo had a busy weekend, taking on 3 opponents at the Princeton Invitational. First up was a game against Iona. A quick 4-goal start from Iona left the Explorers behind 4-2 in the first quarter. Each team would only score 1 goal apiece in the second quarter, leaving the score 5-3. 6 goals from Iona and the Explorers in the second half left the game close, but LaSalle couldn't close the gap and fell 9-11. Hannah Woren and Madeline Corper led the team with 3 goals each. Their next matchup was against Chapman, where LaSalle flipped the script and jumped to a 3-0 lead early in the game. The Explorers continued to put points on the board, leading 9-2 heading into the half. They held Chapman to no goals through the next 16 minutes and scored 2 of their own to take a comfortable 12-2 victory. Zuanich had 5 goals while Francesca Coe had 4. Their last matchup of the weekend was against number 13th ranked Princeton. The Tigers had 2 quick goals before Hannah Woren scored 1 of her own. Tatum Lomax would score in the second quarter, but Princeton continued to dominate the goal and left the game up 9-2 at the half. The Tigers went on a 4-0 run out of halftime. That was followed by a 2-0 LaSalle run, led by Claire Durham. Zuanich would score one more goal in the final quarter, but it wasn't enough to fend off the Tigers, and LaSalle fell 16-6. A lot of Explorer sports. Basketball is closing out. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss talking about them. But for one last time, the women's team unfortunately did not get it done in the second round of the A10 tournament, so very sad to see their season end. But I did just want to highlight how many amazing seniors that they have on this team. Molly Massantonio has been incredible for her whole LaSalle career, and especially this year. Kayla Spurl, I mean, I can't say enough about her. She was great. And both of the twins, the Jacobs twins. So really sad to see all of them go, but again, they've had such great careers, and we're really thrilled to see them be explorers and hopefully continue their success outside of LaSalle.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge props to the women's team. They've been doing, like you said, absolutely amazing. It's so sad to see their season come to an end, but I know they fought it to the bitter end in A10s today, and so I just know they gave it their all, and it's going to be, like you said, extremely sad to lose that talent, to lose Molly Massantonio and the Jacobs sisters, but we still have some fresh talent on there, and I have really high hopes for all of that. Some freshmen coming in, so hopefully, it'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the men's side, they have their first round of the A10 tournament. They are on a 4-game losing streak, unfortunately. They had that 5-game win streak a month ago. They were playing great. They just fell off a little bit, so hopefully, this is kind of their last shot to prove it. Their opponent is still undetermined for A10 championships, but hopefully they get a good draw and they can really get something going off the bench and get some momentum going into that game.
Yeah, my thing with the men's team is that we've seen they can do it. We have watched them do it. We have witnessed them doing it. They, like you said, they went on that 5-game win streak. I know that the talent is on that team. I know that they can do it. Like you said, getting that momentum off the bench, it's there. They have the possibility to do it. I just need to see it from them, because even these last couple games, they've come up short, but they prove through the entire game that they have that fight. I just need them to give me like a little bit more, and then hopefully we can, pull out a win.
Yes, really hoping for a win for the men's team. We are going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Hannah Woren and Francesca Coe are here to talk water polo.
Oh, hey LaSalle TV. Welcome to the LaSalle TV studio. Let's go take a tour. All right, so this is our main studio. This is where all the magic happens. We got all 5 cameras right here. We got our camera operators. Hey, can you switch to camera 3, please?
Switch it off to camera 3 right now. Good.
This is where our talent sits for Sports Talk and SportsLine. That's our set for it. All right, so now let's go take a tour of the control room. That's where all the magic happens behind the scenes. So this right here, we have video. We have graphics right over here. This is the technical director. They control all the cameras.
2, 1,
right here, we have the director. Right over here, we have audio. Over here, we have the teleprompter. All right, well, that's all for the tour of the LaSalle TV studio. Thanks for coming by. See ya.
Welcome back. Water polo is off to a strong start this season, and we are thrilled to have junior Hannah Woren and sophomore Francesca Coe share their experiences on the team in their season thus far. Take a look. Hannah and Francesca, thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to get to talk to water polo, a sport that we don't get to talk about too much, so thrilled to have you all. So just to get to know you both a little bit more, tell me about the first time you started playing water polo and why.
I'll go first. So I've been playing polo for like 11 or 12 years now. And the reasons is basically that I was watching my older cousin, which is basically a bigger sister for me, and I just wanted to do everything that she was doing. So she played at the time, so I just wanted to follow her. So I basically started for that and then just kept going.
Awesome.
And I started water polo because I was originally a swimmer my whole life, started from a very young age because my mom was. And then one day after a swim meet, my one friend who was on the water polo team with us, Mia Mattingly, her mom was like, "Hey Mia, why don't you get the water polo ball out?" And I was like, "What is that?" And she brought it out and we started passing it in the backyard. And after that, it was history. So it's been
awesome.
amazing.
And so both of you are not from Philly, not even close to Philly. Francesca, you're from Italy, and Hannah from Colorado. What was the adjustment like? Why LaSalle, and how was the adjustment moving from your given places to Philadelphia?
Well, my recruitment, it's different from Hannah's one. I did it thanks to an agency in Italy that is helping athletes to go to US to play on scholarships. So they contacted me and I signed with them, and they put me in contact with like coaches. Okay. And then Tom, which was last year coach, reached out to me, and we started having like Zoom meetings and start talking, and he was the one that offered me the best scholarship. So I just choose that. Basically, it was an economic reason. Basically, I just choose the best offer. I couldn't do like official visits, so I just couldn't fly over here to see that. So I just did that.
And I grew up in central PA, so I had been familiar with a lot of East Coast schools and things of that nature for water polo. And I moved to Colorado in the middle of my junior year of high school. So I was amidst my recruiting class and everything that was going on. And eventually I was like, you know what? I want to be able to study nursing. I want to be able to play Division I water polo. And I loved the team here, so I ended up signing for LaSalle.
Awesome. Well, we're both very happy that you're here. Hannah, you're a junior on the team, and being an upperclassman, what do you think your role is on this team as far as leadership goes?
Yeah, so leadership-wise, I am amongst, we have a lot of seniors this year, so I play a smaller role leadership-wise right now, but I also help coach the younger girls a lot because they need a little extra guidance sometimes when they get a little lost. Obviously, I don't really need to help Francesca a lot, but the freshmen, they're doing great though. But next year, I look forward to taking an even bigger role on the team as a leader.
Yeah, absolutely. And Francesca, you're a sophomore. What did you learn from your freshman year last year that you've brought into this year that's really helped you?
Well, it's actually really different, so it's kind of hard to just bring something from last year to this year. A lot of has changed, we changed coach, so all the style of practicing is also different, and yeah, so it's kind of hard. So and at this point last year in the season, I was not even playing this much. I was not a starter, so also that changed. So my approach to the games and the season is completely different right now. Gotcha. So I'm just trying to try my best.
Just going with the flow. I like
exactly.
it.
Going with the flow. Exactly.
And Hannah, you lead the team in assists this season. And what would you say is the strongest part of your game that's really helped the team succeed this year?
I would say that my anticipation is the best part of my game. I'm able to read the plays before they really happen and be able to anticipate exactly what my teammates are going to be doing or executing so I can deliver the passes there on time for them to be able to finish the plays.
And Francesca, you have had a fantastic season as far as goal scoring. You lead the team with 45 goals. What's been the key to your goal scoring success?
I think it's the chemistry we have in the water, which changes depending on the game and the team we're facing. But I know the plays, knowing the plays and what is gonna happen helps you to just adjust to everything. So Yeah, I think the chemistry and the working all together is just the reasons why like you can just take the ball and do that by yourself. So lots of them it's because of great passes or like a good play. So it's just everything. Yeah.
And you know, Hannah, you mentioned you're a nursing major. You all have had a very packed schedule this year, and you just started the season, but it feels like you've been playing a ton. How have you been able to balance being a student athlete with your studies?
It's definitely difficult at times. I mean, we've got back-to-back exams constantly. But so far, I've found a lot of help amongst my nursing friends and the program itself. They create a schedule that's easier so that my class load is pretty much Tuesday through Thursday, and then I've got my Fridays and my Mondays to myself to work on water polo things and then study as well. So at times it can feel like a lot, but I think over the years I've kind of perfected that schedule and my ability to plan. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you learned anything being a student athlete so far, balancing that?
Yeah, I mean, planning, it's a thing that I've always done in my life, so that was for sure helped me. Nursing major is definitely not the easiest major here. What helps me really a lot is her notes. So yeah, I bring notebook and books on the bus, and you try to use every minute that you have available. And yeah.
It's nice that you all have the same major. You can help each other
Yeah,
out.
I have all her notebooks and notes from last year. Yeah.
That's awesome. So moving into the Harvard Invitational this weekend and the rest of the season, how do you think the team is feeling overall, kind of going into the rest of the season?
I think we're excited. I know I'm personally very, very excited. We're playing a lot of ranked teams in like this segment of the season before we start conference. So it's giving us a lot of practice with high-level teams with a lot of experience. So I think coming into March, we're going to have a fantastic season. We're going to have really good chemistry because right now we're like fine-tuning things as it goes. So I'm very, very, very hopeful for a very good season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited too, for sure. And I think that playing 3 out of 4 teams that are actually ranked in the first 25s, right? Top 25s. It's a good opportunity to try and practice all the plays and everything before the actual season starts.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be helpful for sure. And yeah, then we're gonna see how the season goes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely excited to continue keeping up with you guys. Individually, what are you looking to improve going into the rest of the season?
I look to improve like shooting. I want to shoot like Francesca does here and get my goals up because I know in the past I haven't had the highest amount of shots on the team, but I definitely want to get up to scoring 20 to 30 goals, and I want to keep up that my assist average as well, keep helping everybody out there.
Awesome.
For sure, keeping up with the goals. But in general, I just want to be like helpful for the team and especially the players that are in the water. So like if someone even asks me something, like try to help them and improve our chemistry, because that's, I think it's the thing that's gonna help us the most to win games. So individually, yeah, improving shots and all this kind of thing, even on defense, steals and everything. But I want to improve the chemistry within the team. I think it's what we have to concentrate more.
Well, awesome. Thank you all again for being here. It has been so much fun keeping up with all of your tournaments these past few weeks, and good luck with the Harvard Invitational this weekend and with the rest of the season. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
We're going to take one last break, but when we come back, we have all of this week's upcoming games for you, so stay tuned.
Using meth taught me everything about freedom, only not like you think. It taught me how easy it is to lose your freedom, how meth can take control until you find yourself doing whatever meth tells you to do. Before you get there, while you still can, take a stand for yourself. If you feel yourself losing your freedom to meth, ask for help. Accept the help. It's worth it. You have the power to be truly free and be the person you want to be. I know, I'm Jan, and I'm free from meth.
If you or someone you know is struggling with meth, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/meth.
We have more Explorer sports this week, so here's what you can look forward to. Men's basketball will face Loyola Chicago on senior night for their final home game of the season, Saturday, March 4th. Then A-10 championships will begin March 7th in Brooklyn, New York. Their opponent is to be determined.
Water polo will travel to the Harvard Invitational on March 4th through the 5th to take on Brown, CNSU, Gannon, and Harvard. Track and field will compete in the Eastern College Athletic Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships March 4th and 5th. Lacrosse will take on Mount St. Mary's on Saturday, March 4th.
And that just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the Explorer Report, be sure to tune in for next week's coverage. Keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com.
Also, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV and on Instagram at SportsLineLTV. We welcome you to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For our entire SportsLine team, I'm Libby Gilliland.
And I'm Meghan Cooney. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at the game.